Hey guys, welcome to your ultimate guide to the Demi method and Demi Colour. What is the Demi method? So you may have seen this flying around social media recently because it's actually been going pretty viral. I've actually been using Demi Colour for almost 3 years now, and I've been practicing a lot of these techniques. And the truth is, the Demi method is a way of doing your makeup that is completely undetectable. It leaves the natural luminosity of your skin intact and is invisible on the skin and just really enhances the natural beauty of your face without covering the skin and an excess product that you don't need. The Demi method also utilizes color science and color correcting makeup to neutralize any distractions in the skin so that your true beauty can shine through. You may have seen products that look like this floating around. Instead of covering your whole face in a skin-toned foundation or concealer and then trying to add color back in, trying to color match your skin tone, it's all really unnecessarily difficult. Using color science, you can reduce the distractions in your face, enhance your skin tone, using minimal product to really keep your skin looking as luminous and natural as possible. The Demi method really is the ultimate no makeup look, and that's because it truly is invisible. I've seen a lot of people out there trying to do the Demi method with makeup they already own, and that's fine, but I feel like you really don't get the full effect unless you're using a product like this that is very saturated with color and also at the same time sheer and a cream-based product to really mimic the appearance of the skin. So in my opinion, you can't really achieve the same result of doing the Demi method unless you actually use Demi. And I'm not just saying that because I've drank the Kool-Aid and I'm only promoting one product or anything like that. It's just that I truly have been using this for about 3 years. I've tried other products and this is just the best product for this type of makeup method that I've ever used. So today I'm going to use myself as a demonstration to show you how you can do the Demi method. First, let's get a closer look at my face. So this is my face. I just turned 40 this year, so I don't have flawless young person skin. I have 40-year-old skin, and that includes, a lot of hyperpigmentation in my skin and melasma. I have wrinkles and all that. I have darkness under my eyes. I have redness in a few places and broken capillaries. I have discoloration. I actually am having a pretty good skin day, so I don't have that many blemishes, but sometimes I do have blemishes. I have one here that's healing. I wish I had more of those to demonstrate today, but that's beside the point. So I'm going to show you how I can take my natural face and enhance my beauty, enhance my skin tone, hide the things that I don't necessarily like to see on my face so that when I look at my face, I'm not distracted by the things that I don't like and I can just see myself. So let's dive right in, shall we? This is my personal Demi palette. So this is what I use to do a full face of the Demi method every single day for myself. That big palette I had before, that's all the colors. You don't need that many colors. I'm an artist, so I have them all. But this is what I use for myself on a daily basis. I have some neutral sculpting shades right here. I have some blush and lip color shades right here. And then these I use for filtering distractions. And then these two are just for my brows. So step 1 of the Demi method is going to be adding color. Demi might feel a little bit backwards from what you're used to. Most of us are used to neutralizing out the entire face and then adding contour, bronzer, blush, adding color back into the face. Demi, you do a little bit differently. You sort of work on the end product first by adding color, adding blush, those kinds of things. And then at the end, you filter away the remaining distractions. So it's like concealing at the end of your makeup routine, which might feel backwards, but you just have to trust the process. So I'm going to start by adding color, and that's what you would traditionally think of as bronzing, evening the skin tone, contouring, those kinds of things. So I'm actually going to start with this one right here. This is called NR. So this is a neutral red. I'm going to use this shade to really enhance my skin tone and add color to my face and do a little bit of sculpting and contouring. I'm using the small side of my shape brush, getting a little bit of that on my brush. I'm just gonna start by applying that underneath my cheekbone. I like how this shade adds a little bit of warmth to my face and also defines my features. So let's discuss adding color. A lot of us feel like we need to take away color from our face to find the dark spots, make them lighter, and that's really what we focus on. Something I've learned by doing the Demi method is that the most distracting things on your face are actually just things that are high contrast. So that means things that are too dark, obviously, but also things that are too light on your face. And that's not something we talk about a lot. Things that are dark on our faces can appear even more dark if they're next to a spot that's especially light. So it's the contrast between the light and the dark that really draws the eye and is distracting. So when I'm adding color to my face, I'm also just looking for any pale areas on my face that I would like to add color. The whole idea with Demi is bringing everything back into balance. So I'm kind of going around areas of my face where I see the darkness, and I'm also applying color around the dark spots so that it blends more into the area around it a little bit more. So I have some melasma right here, and I'm just applying my neutral red around the melasma to make it just sort of blend in with the entire area better. Okay, so I've warmed up my skin tone with that NR shade and I've added some color. Now I'm actually going to sculpt my face a little bit more and contour. So I'm going to use this shade right here. This is NV+1. So this is a neutral violet shade. And I'm going to use this to add a little bit of shadow wherever I want to define my features a little bit more. For me, that's under my cheekbone. I really like to make my cheekbones kind of pop. Okay, so we've added color. Now we're going to go on to step 2 of the Demi method, which is toning. So toning is using color to color correct anywhere where you might have a larger area of discoloration on the face. If you have widespread redness on your face, you could tone that area. I have lots of other resources on dealing with redness in the face and using Demi, so I won't go into that here. You can always check those out later if you need to. For me, I just have a little bit of discoloration on my face that I like to tone. That's actually for me gonna be like right here, if you look. In this area of my face, it almost looks yellow, okay? It looks sallow, it looks kind of muddy, just it looks, you know, kind of yellowish greenish. And so that is excess green in my skin. So I'm gonna use the complementary color of red to filter that. And in Demi speak, that's this one right here. Pink. So I'm going to be using R1. Use the small side of my wash brush. And I'm just going to apply that pink very lightly, almost invisibly. You can't really see that I'm doing anything. Anywhere where I see that excess green in my skin. And you see how it just tones it down? A lot of people have this on their upper lip just from sun damage. Look at this. You see this green right here? Just disappears. And I'm using such a minuscule amount of product because the color science of the colors I'm using is doing most of the heavy lifting. So I just need the tiniest bit of actual product to do this. And that means that it will not settle in my smile lines throughout the day. It won't crease, it won't look cakey. It won't look like I'm wearing makeup at all. If you get up close, I don't know if you can see. I mean, it just looks like my bare skin. You can't see anything. I tend to have a lot of excess green in my skin just in random places, so I'm just very lightly going around my face and toning down wherever I see that green. And it just brings my whole face sort of back into balance. All right, step 3 of the Demi method is going to be blush. We all know how that works, right? I'm actually going to use this one right here. This is R7. It's basically a pure red pigment. The great thing about Demi blushes in particular is that they're very sheer. They're very pigmented but sheer at the same time. So it's almost like it looks like a watercolor stain on the skin. It doesn't actually stain your skin, but you're using such a tiny amount of product that it creates a really natural looking sheer translucent flush on the skin, and it lasts all day and it's great. Kind of working with the natural redness in my cheeks and going around it to create one wash of color. The reason you want to add color first and do your blush first and all those things is because it actually really camouflages a lot of the things in your skin that you might have been bothered by originally. And so you may find that you don't need to hide as much as you thought you did once you do these steps. Also, in order to filter anything, you need to sort of have your end product and see the colors of your skin so that you know how to filter them. So now that we basically have our end product of what we want our face to look like at the end, we are going to now do the fourth step of Demi method, which is filtering. So now I'm going to go around my face and find the things on my face that are still bothering me that I would normally use concealer to hide. And instead I'm going to use my Demi color correctors to filter them away. I say filter because these are a sheer color correcting product that use color science to change what you see in your skin. We're not trying to cover anything. There's no opacity to this like there would be with concealer. We're not trying to cover or hide anything in our skin. We're just trying to filter away some of the distracting spots so that they are no longer distracting, and then they're back into balance with the rest of the face. All right, so for me, the things that I'm still seeing that I would like to filter away on my face is some redness around my nose. I have some broken capillaries that make some redness. I find that very distracting, so I like to tone that down. I have, some under eye darkness, like most people. I feel like that's the most common thing that people like to try to filter is their under eye area, so I will do that. And then if I have any remaining blemishes or like melasma spots that bother me, I'll do that at the end. So let's start with the redness around my nose first. Let's look closely at it. Most people would look at this and just say, oh, it's red. But learning how to see excess color with Demi is a little bit of a learned process. I know from experience that this isn't actually excess red in my skin, it's actually excess violet. If you have excess redness in your skin, it's going to be something that's inflamed, hot, angry, like a new zit. It's going to look neon and super vibrantly red. And that might actually be a true red. And in that case, you'd want to use the complementary color of green to filter away the red. But you'll need to use green a lot less than you'd think. More commonly in the skin is actually excess violet, which will look like a pinky red, more of a magenta tone. Rosacea, blemishes, broken capillaries, that's all excess violet in the skin. And that's what this is. If you see, it just looks a little bit pinky. So what I will need to use to filter this is yellow. There's actually also some darkness in here, and it's a violet blue. So if you look, I have a lot of darkness kind of in the crease of my nostril and up here. And so I'm gonna be using an orange yellow for that. If you're confused about seeing excess color in the skin and figuring out which colors of Demi to filter it, I have a lot more information on my website. I have a lot of tutorials on the topic, and I can help you learn. All right, so let's tackle the redness around my nose. I am going to use this color right here to start. This is OY1. It's a very pigmented orange yellow shade. And I'm using my bright brush, and I'm just going to apply this anywhere where I see something that looks violet red, but also kind of dark at the same time, almost like a lavender color underneath the skin. And I'm just using a small brush to tone that away. And that already did most of the heavy lifting. There isn't much left. I can see a little bit of excess violet down here. So I'm gonna use just a pure yellow. I'm gonna use Y1. And I'm just gonna very gently remove any excess remaining violet. I like to apply with a small brush and then use a fluffy brush to blend and make sure that it all looks even and that you can't see any color. With Demi, it's not going to look like you're covering anything in the skin. You need to use the teeniest amount of product. It should look more like you're wiping the distraction away as opposed to applying product. So it should look invisible by the time you're done. This is what it should look like. And as you can see, it's not colorless. You can kind of still see it, but the point is I'm just trying to bring it into balance with the rest of my face so that when you look at my face, you don't just see redness around my nose. You're not noticing it. That is the goal. All right, let's talk under eyes. I feel like this is the most asked about topic with Demi or any kind of makeup advice that I give. Most people are very bothered by the darkness around their eyes, and they're very used to being told that you need to take concealer, put a big swipe of concealer under the eyes, make it blanked out, make it just totally flawless, set with powder. And most people don't feel like that does a good job. They don't feel like it looks very natural. It tends to look kind of powdery or cakey. It can crease. My concealer always used to crease and it used to drive me crazy. The great thing about using Demi for the eye area is that it preserves the natural radiance of the delicate skin under your eyes, and it also never creases and it doesn't look like makeup. Isn't that what we all want our under eyes to look like? Just more bright, more youthful. That's the goal, right? So I'm gonna start by doing something unconventional that you're gonna be like, what, are you crazy? I'm going to add color around my eyes. This isn't something that everyone needs to do, but people like me that are a little bit on the more fair, pale side tend to have a lot of really light colored skin around the eyes. And like I said before, the most distracting thing on the face is contrast. So if you have light skin around your eye area, that can be just as distracting as having any darkness. If you have both, it's doubly distracting. So adding a little bit of color will immediately take away a lot of what is so distracting about the eye area. So I'm gonna use my blur brush, and I'm gonna use that same color that I used before to add color. This is NR. I'm gonna use a small amount of that, and I'm gonna apply this anywhere where I see very light color. And you can use it as an eyeshadow as well. Anywhere where I see very pale skin. And you can see the difference is subtle. A lot of people have a light spot right in this inner corner, including me. I mean, it looks like I just airbrushed my eye with video magic. I didn't. It really is just makeup, but. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to remove any remaining dark spots. Any kind of darkness around the eye area is usually excess blue. Anything dark in the skin at all has excess blue in it. So you're going to need the complementary color of orange to balance that out. In my under eye area, I have some blue right here, causing shadowing, making it look like I have more of an eye bag than I actually even do. So I have blue here. I have some blue veins right here. You know, our eye area, the skin is so thin and delicate that you can usually see the blood supply through the skin. And that's what this is. This is just my blood supply around my eye socket. And so it's really distracting. I have some capillaries right here. I'm going to use orange to filter those. So I'm going to use this shade right here. This is O1. If you have a deeper skin tone than me or more pronounced darkness, you probably will need to use a more saturated orange shade like O3, but I like using O1. So I'm using a teeny tiny brush. This is my spot brush, very precise, to very, very gently apply orange wherever I see anything dark, just to the very darkest points. You might have some violet redness around your eye area that's distracting. You might need to incorporate more yellow, or you might have some freckles or hyperpigmentation that have green in them, and then you might need to use some pink. So everyone kind of has different needs. I just like to get rid of the very darkest points with orange. It may seem time consuming to sit and get every little baby spot like this, but once you know what you're doing and you know what colors to use, you can do it very quickly and it really doesn't take that long. Okay, so I've applied my Demi to this eye over here. So, I mean, when I tilt my head down, this shadow right here is so much less pronounced. It looks like it's disappeared completely. And the great thing is when you look at my eye area, I'll turn my head so you can see it in the light. You can't see that there's makeup on my face. It just looks like my natural skin. Okay, and I'm done with my eye area on both eyes. So one thing I want to note with under eyes real quick is that, you know, they don't look perfect. They don't look colorless. They don't look flawless. And that's kind of the point. I feel like a lot of us are just so used to having unrealistic expectations about under eyes, either from the media or commercials or makeup ads or whatever. You know, so many of us have been using Shape Tape for the longest time to get the most full coverage, blanked out under eyes. And if that's what you love to do with your under eyes, then that's totally fine. But if you want a more natural look, this will give you the most natural result. All right, there's not much else I want to do to my face. I just have a few blemishes that are still in the process of healing, and I have some little melasma spots that I'm gonna brighten up a little bit. I'm gonna do that really fast. For this healing blemish right here, it's a little bit violet and a little bit blue because it's almost healed, so I'm using a yellow-orange tone to make that disappear. Same here. Now for any spots of hyperpigmentation that I find, I'm just using pink. Any kind of hyperpigmentation in the skin is actually excess green in the skin. It can look brown, muddy, earthy. Sometimes it even looks a little bit orange, but that's actually excess green. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my face. I'm just going to do a few finishing touches. I'm going to add some color to my lips with my same color that I used in my cheeks, and I'm going to fill in my brows, and I'll be right back. And that's it. It's my full face of the Demi method and Demi Colour. So as you can see, it's just extremely natural looking. And by that, I mean that it's undetectable. You can't see any makeup on the skin. It just looks like real skin. I love wearing Demi because I feel like I'm not wearing makeup at all. And I feel like I really look like myself and I feel like myself. And that's my favorite thing about it. Plus it's really nice that it just doesn't crease and just lasts all day looking natural. One commonly asked question is, do you need to use primers, setting sprays, setting powders? And the answer to that is no, none of that is actually necessary. Doesn't mean that you can't. If you have a primer that you really love, that's part of your routine, you can definitely use it. If you like a setting spray, go for it. If you have really oily skin or you just really like using a setting powder to tone down the shine, you can definitely do that. It's not necessary to help the makeup stay in place, but if you like using a setting powder, then you totally can. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't because I like how the natural radiance of my skin and the natural finish of my skin looks, so I usually choose not to, but that's my personal preference. A lot of people ask if this is really difficult to learn, and the answer is that there is a learning curve. Like anything else, especially for people like me who are makeup people who are very into using makeup. It might take a little bit more for you to unlearn some of the practices that you've been used to your whole life and to gain a new perspective on what to expect from your makeup. But once you do those things and once you get the hang of seeing excess color in the skin and figuring out which shade of complementary Demi to use to filter that area, once you get those things under control, it's very easy and it's very fast and you can work a lot more instinctually without having to think too much. And so yes, the answer is that you will have to learn how to use this makeup, and it does require a little bit of determination to learn how to do that. But I'm always here to help. And one of the benefits of having me as your Seint artist is that I have a lot of educational materials and tutorials and things to help you learn how to use your new makeup. And I'm always here to help if you need more guidance. And I'm always here to help you choose the Demi color shades to create the Demi method look that you'd like. If you need help with that, you can always fill out my Demi consultation form through the link in my bio or down in the description, and I will email you some personalized recommendations. If you have any questions, I'm always here to help. And there's a lot more information on my website, erinycantbeauty.com as well. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.